Okay, theory of division of labor. So, we have done with theory of division of labor. We have defined, right? What is division of labor? What is the definition? Splitting up of activities into number of parts or processes which will be undertaken by one or more or group of people. Okay. So that definition is done, and then we have discussed the cause. In single word, single sentence, can you tell me what is the cause? Struggle for existence in the present occupation. That is, if I ask you in one line, what is the cause? It's a struggle for existence in the present occupation. Now, one of the most important pillars of Durkheim's methodology, that is separation of cause and function, right? So he separate cause and function. Why he do that? To avoid illegitimate teleology. So what is a function? If I ask you in one word, what is the most important function? Two functions we discussed. Integration, right? So cause is struggle for existence in the present occupation. You create specialization. And function is integration, right? That's the first function. What is the second function? It gives functional autonomy, right? It gives that freedom to the individual to specialize or to produce. Now this is the one which you need to use if you get a question on Marx and Durkheim comparison. Compare Durkheim and Marx with respect to the division of labor framework. So that is functional autonomy or individual autonomy. Individual autonomy. So I would say this is the function with respect to society, integration of all people. People are connected because of the differences. People are interdependent. Because of division of labor, interdependence is created, and that interdependence is functional. Because of that interdependence, people are integrated. People are together. Despite the differences, despite the inequality, despite heterogeneity, people are together because of the differences. Division of labor, interdependence. So division of labor is basically creating what? Interdependence. And that interdependence is functional because that integrate people. You are depending on the institute depending on you, right? That is, there is an interdependence. That is functional. Individual autonomy, and then we discussed abnormal forms. So three abnormal forms: anomy, division of labor, and then inadequate organization. Oh, this we need to write, right? We haven't completed this. Inadequate organization, and then forced. I think function also we need to write. Okay. Okay, fine. So definition: splitting up of activities into number of parts which will be undertaken by one or more people. Struggle for existence in the present occupation, that the cause of occupational specialization or division of labor, and function is integration and autonomy. In between we discussed mechanical and organic solidarity also. So what is mechanical solidarity? Mechanical solidarity. Tell me. Traditional society, norms and values are strong, punishments are strong, coercive or repressive laws are there. So people conform to the norms and values are strong because of these punishments, sanctions, coercive or repressive laws. People are alike, people perform similar occupation. This society where the solidarity is ensured mechanically, that's what? Mechanical solidarity. So traditional society, mechanical solidarity. What is organic solidarity? Modern society, where high level of individualism, high level of heterogeneity, differences, all these found, where norms and values are weak. laws are restitutive or reformative, but still people are united, right, because of interdependence. That is what the function of division of labor we discussed. Because people are interdependent, like your organs in the body. Interdependent or what? Yes, every organs in the body is dependent on the other. Just like that, every individual is interdependent. Every group is interdependent. Just like organs in the body. So you got the term organic solidarity from where it came. Just like organs in the body, in the modern society, we are interdependent. So that is organic solidarity. It is not enforced. It is not coerced. It's not forced. It's not through repressive laws. You have all the freedom to live isolated, to live separated, but still you choose to be connected. Why? Because you are interdependent. You cannot live in isolation. You cannot live in isolation. Right? Okay. So we are actually done with this topic, and they can ask you separate question on 10 marker mechanical and organic solidarity. 10 marker. They can ask you division of labor. They can ask you causal functional explanation of division of labor. They can ask you like this also, individual while becoming more autonomous comes to depend heavily on society. Discuss. Because of interdependence, right? And they can ask you to compare Marx and Durkheim, where Marx talk about alienation. Because of division of labor, your creativity is hindered, affected. Because the process of production is not defined by you. Product does not belong to you. You don't have any freedom, right? Because of division of labor. But Durkheim says it is giving you the freedom to specialize. You will be the expert in that and you will decide in that field. So both are different. One says alienation, the other says giving autonomy to produce. One says alienation from the production, alienation from the product, but here you are getting your freedom to produce. That's the most important. If the comparison is asked, without writing this, whatever you write, the theory and all those, there is of no use. This is what they're asking. Okay. You remember the diagram? Can anyone draw the diagram? We start with this block diagram must be there in your answer. We discussed a primitive society. So quickly tell me what all features you'll write here. Low population, laws are repressive, segmentary. Okay, this much is enough. Even this much is not enough, as you can avoid, and you can simply write mechanical solidarity, primitive society and mechanical solidarity. That's enough in the first block. Okay, so this is your first block. And then population increase, volume increase, material and moral density increase, means interaction increase, right? If you don't write interaction, no problem, material and moral density increase, that's done. Because interaction increase itself is what? Moral density increase. And then that lead to access to activities performed in other segments. Okay. And then because of this, struggle for existence in the present occupation. You need to completely write it. So this is actually the cause. The real cause is struggle for existence. Now when this happens, there is only two logical conclusions for Durkheim. What are they? Who will survive? Fittest will survive. Fittest survive. This is the natural law, right? The survival of the fittest. That's the law of the nature. And unfit create specialization. So this lead to occupational specialization, and that's your division of labor. So this is the block diagram you need to write, you need to draw. Okay, so this theory is very easy, easiest among the one which we discussed so far. Right? There is nothing in this. Just need to remember organic solidarity, mechanical solidarity, traditional society, modern society. Traditional society is more of repressive in nature. There it is mechanical solidarity. Modern society, interdependence. So integration, autonomy. Okay, two functions, integration and autonomy. Then three forms of abnormality. So right, balance. നിങ്ങൾ എവിടെ നിർത്തിയത്? ഇവിടെയാണ് നിർത്തിയതല്ലേ? അപ്പം നമ്മൾ കോസൽ എക്സ്പ്ലനേഷൻ കഴിഞ്ഞു. Now right, functions of division of labor. Functions of division of labor. Right. For delineating means separating, okay, for delineating the function of division of labor, for delineating the function of division of labor, Durkheim developed the conception of modern society, which is characterized by large population, high moral density, and is very complex. Underline ചെയ്യും modern society, ബാക്കിയുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ large population ആ കാര്യങ്ങൾ modern society എന്നുള്ളത് underline ചെയ്താലും മതി, automatically covered. Okay, the collective conscience is low because of high material density. These societies are secular in nature. And the supreme value is attached to the individual. Secular in nature and the supreme value is attached to the individual. So underline say collective conscience is low, secular in nature and individual. So modern society, it is like highly individualized society. Individual is getting that importance, supreme, right? Traditional society, you follow the society mostly. Next paragraph. Continuation at Enediko. The types of laws are reformative or restitutive. Our legal system is reformative. Okay. The types of laws are reformative or restitutive. Mattadu repressive, strong punishments. Here reform, individual reformation is what focusing. Okay, right. In these societies, division of labor is high. Division of labor is very high and manifested in terms of high degree of occupational specialization and manifested in terms of high degree of occupational specialization. In such societies, people are highly interdependent upon each other. People are highly interdependent upon each other, and these interdependence is functional. And these interdependence is functional. എല്ലാം അണ്ടർലൈൻ ചെയ്തോ? റിഫോർമേറ്റീവ് റെസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂട്ടീവ് അണ്ടർലൈൻ ചെയ്യുക, ഹൈ ഡിഗ്രി ഓഫ് ഒക്കുപേഷണൽ സ്പെഷ്യലൈസേഷൻ അണ്ടർലൈൻ ചെയ്യുക, ഹൈലി ഇൻ്റർഡിപ്പെൻഡൻ്റ് അണ്ടർലൈൻ ചെയ്യുക, ഫങ്ഷണൽ അണ്ടർലൈൻ ചെയ്യുക. ആ ഇൻ്റർഡിപ്പെൻഡൻസ് ഇസ് ഫങ്ഷണൽ. എവറിഥിങ് ഇസ് ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ്. ഓക്കെ? According to Durkheim, it is the division of labor which create this functional interdependence and is responsible for organic character of society, and is responsible for organic character of society. What do I mean by organic character of society? Every single individual is connected one way or the other. That shopkeeper, if he need to survive, you should be there. If you need to survive, that shopkeeper should be there. Right? Everyone is interconnected. Because not everyone have everything they need within themselves. You seek in others what we lack in ourselves. Simple. That is a simple logic. We seek in others what we lack in ourselves. Okay, right. Thus, the modern society is based on organic solidarity, which is due to high division of labor. Organic solidarity underlines. So now my question is, will you be able to write a 10 marker on organic and mechanical solidarity properly? And one thing that you can do is draw this diagram also. Here itself you can draw. This is organic solidarity. It is going up. When society is becoming modern, mechanical solidarity, this is whatever you write, if you can show that in diagram, that pictorial representation, it will be always better. It is simple, but still you can do. Okay. Now sometimes you won't be able to get it, but you give your content to the ChatGPT and ask, how can I represent it in that way? We'll get one or the other good diagrams. Always. Even if I skip, I miss, you can always give it. How can I do it? Okay. Right. Further, Durkheim validate his functional explanation in terms of similarity and differences. Similarity and differences. in his words, inverted comma centralize ചെയ്തെഴുതണം ഇനി. His quote ആണ് ഞാൻ തരാൻ പോകുന്നത്. While we like those who resemble us, while we like, ഇൻവെർട്ടഡ് കോമയിൽ സെൻട്രലൈസ് ചെയ്ത് എഴുതാൻ പറഞ്ഞത് നിങ്ങൾ ഇവിടെ വരെ ഇങ്ങനെയാണ് എഴുതി പോകുന്നത്. Now you write like this and then you continue writing like this. While we like those who resemble us, we are also drawn towards those who are different. We are also drawn towards, we are attracted towards others also. We are also drawn towards those who are different precisely because they are different. While we like those who resemble us, we are also drawn towards those who are different precisely because they are different. എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ എന്താ, നമുക്ക് നമ്മുടെ കൂടെയുള്ള കൂട്ടുകാരെ എല്ലാവർക്കും ഇഷ്ടമാണ്, but at the same time we are also attracted towards those people who are different than us because they are different. They have something different. Okay, right. In other words, ഇതും ഇൻവെർട്ടഡ് കോമയിൽ എഴുതിക്കോ. We seek in others what we lack in ourselves. And associations are formed wherever there is a true exchange of service. Associations are formed wherever there is a true exchange of service. In short, wherever there is division of labor. I'll repeat. We seek in others what we lack in ourselves, and associations are formed wherever there is a true exchange of service. In other words, wherever there is division of labor. Means what? You seek on this academy for what? Classes. Similarly, this academy also dependent on you. So there is an exchange of service here. There is a true exchange of service because there is a division of labor. Same with everything in life, everywhere in life. Okay? You go and have a tea means the same thing. Okay? Next paragraph. According to Durkheim, modern society is based on mass production. As the needs increase, further specialization is required. In order to undertake specialization, a degree of individual autonomy is required. അത് അണ്ടർലൈൻ ചെയ്യൂ. ഇൻഡിവിജ്വൽ ഓട്ടോണോമി. That is, an individual must be free to create. അത് അണ്ടർലൈൻ ചെയ്യൂ. Must be free to create. So here what Durkheim says, individual is going to get the freedom to create. He is getting the autonomy to create. There you are losing your freedom. You are losing your there means where? Mass. Okay? Alienation. Here autonomy. Individual must be free to create. Next sentence. Thus, division of labor is fulfilling yet another function of granting an individual the much needed autonomy required to undertake specialization, much needed autonomy required to undertake specialization. Thus, finally, Durkheim states, inverted comma, you remember one question I have given to you. An individual, while becoming more autonomous, he becomes more dependent on society. Our statement today. So, if suppose you are getting that question, this is how you will conclude. Thus, finally, Durkheim states. So, the question is, this is how you will conclude. You bring that statement again in your conclusion. Okay, right. An individual, while becoming more autonomous, comes to depend more heavily on society. Inverted comma, close here. An individual, while becoming autonomous, comes to depend more heavily on society. So what was your question? Individual, while becoming more autonomous, comes to depend heavily on society. Discuss. This is how, towards the end, you will write and conclude. If it is a critical analysis, from here you will again proceed with your CCR. Contribution, criticism, relevance. That we discussed towards the end. Just do this. Division of labor. Yesterday we have drawn this diagram. Functional interdependence. So what division of labor create? It create interdependence. Correct? We all are interdependent because of division of labor. And this interdependence is functional. So just write functional interdependence. That means in bracket you can write integration of society. You understood functional interdependence. Division of labor create interdependence. This is functional. Now here you write individual autonomy. Individual autonomy needed for what? Specialization. Individual autonomy needed for specialization. That lead to integration of society. This is what? Organic solidarity. Straight ആയിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾ വരക്കണം. ഇങ്ങനെ വെക്കണ്ട, നേരെ അവിടെ നിന്ന് ആരോ സ്ട്രൈറ്റ് ഇട്ടാൽ മതി. സ്പേസ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ, എനിക്കിവിടെ സ്പേസ് ഇല്ലാത്തതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഞാൻ ഇങ്ങനെ ചെയ്തത്. സ്ട്രെയിറ്റ് ആരോ ഇട്ടാൽ മതി. അങ്ങനെ തന്നെ ചെയ്യണമെന്നില്ല, സ്ട്രെയിറ്റ് ആരോ ചെയ്താൽ മതി. ഓക്കെ അല്ലേ? Division of labor create interdependence. That interdependence is functional. That lead to integration. Division of labor also giving you individual autonomy. That is a freedom to create, which is required for specialization. Together, integration of society. That's what your organic solidarity. Next paragraph. Thus, according to Durkheim, Division of labor is a social phenomena. Division of labor is a social phenomena, and he rejected the classical and neoclassical explanations of division of labor. The classical and neoclassical explanations of division of labor. Earlier, the term division of labor is coined by Adam Smith. The term division of labor is coined by Adam Smith in his book, Wealth of Nations. Wealth of Nations. According to this perspective, division of labor fulfills the function of maximization of production by increasing productivity and thereby maximizing profitability. Okay, so it is not important for us. See, we are just saying, after discussing all these, we are saying, so far it was understood in economic terms because this will increase the productivity and thereby efficiency and thereby more production and more profit. But that is economic explanation. But here the problem is, this is a function to increase profit or maximize production, that is a cause also. But Durkheim separate that. Durkheim says it is a struggle for existence, that is why you created specialization. And the function is different. Okay, economic function is there, that is productivity, production and everything, but we are looking for social function. This is sociology. So once Durkheim take up the analysis, something which so far we considered as economic phenomena, in that angle becomes sociological. So division of labor is more of sociological in nature than economics. It is having more social function than economics. If you talk about economics, the production is increasing, that is a function. But here, if you see two functions, integration, interdependence, functional and individual autonomy, all these are the social functions. So it's not only economics, it is sociological. Economical only that one, production increase, profit increase. Okay. Okay now. These schools understood industrialization or increase in occupational specialization, in the context of the need for mass production, in the context of need for mass production, because you need to produce more. The best way to produce more is divide and increase the efficiency, productivity and more production. Next sentence. Durkheim claimed that division of labor is social. Division of labor is social as it is not only confined to occupation, but as it is not only confined to occupation. Pennille, pen boyo, pen undo, vera. As it is not only confined to occupation, but permeates through each and every aspect of social life. Underline the entire sentence. Each and every aspect of social life. It permeates through each and every aspect of social life. Why you are saying so? Because everyone is interdependent, just like organs in the body. You cannot survive without the help of other person, right? So it is permeating through each and every aspect of social life. Anything I do, I need the help of someone. Otherwise, I can't survive. Okay, underline the entire sentence. That's the important thing so far. Moreover, division of labor is present since ancient times, and what has changed is the degree, and what has changed is only the degree. Division of labor is present since ancient times. What has changed is only the degree. What does it mean is, industrialization വന്നതിന് ശേഷമൊന്നുമല്ല പ്രൊഡക്ടിവിറ്റിക്കും പ്രോഫിറ്റബിലിറ്റിക്കും വേണ്ടി ഇത് കൊണ്ടുവന്നത്. It was there before also, but it changed the degree. Means where is maximum? Now it is maximum. It was less before. It is there from ancient time onwards. Next, thus he conclude that it is a social fact. It is a social fact which comes into existence out of the autonomous development of society, and is sui generis. It comes into existence with the autonomous development of society and is sui generis. Now you see how beautifully we connected it with social fact. So see, what was your question? Listen. Division of labor is a social fact. Discuss. So this is a way you conclude. Thus he conclude that division of labor is a social fact which comes into existence with the autonomous development of society and is sui generis. When society progress, division of labor automatically comes into existence. It's a social fact. It's independent of individual. It's external to individual. It is having a constraining influence over individual because you are interdependent, right? And it is sui generis. It is having its own existence. Right. Finally, he claimed that the function of division of labor is not purely economic. It's not purely economic, but is social. But is social. So now what is left? We discussed the context, we discussed the definition, cause, function. Now, the distinction between normal and pathological form. Rules of distinction. Cause and function separated. Now rules of distinction, normal and pathology, separation. Cause and function separation is for illegitimate ideology. This is the rules of distinction, normal and abnormal separation. Right, further. Next paragraph. See, in all part in theory, only if you have these 4 parts, the theory is complete. Definition, cause, function, that forms the causal functional explanation, then abnormal form. All the 4 parts need to be there in the theory. Without writing abnormal forms, it's not complete. Okay, so this is how it will be complete. Right. Further, Durkheim also identify abnormal forms of division of labor. അത് ഓർക്കണം, അത് സെപ്പറേറ്റ്ലി ചോദിക്കൂല. ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് പാർട്ട് ഓഫ് ദ തിയറി. Abnormal forms of division of labor. Durkheim identifies, okay, next sentence, all Durkheim identify cut ചെയ്തേക്കും. അടുത്ത സെന്റൻസ്, although division of labor is a normal phenomena, division of labor is a normal phenomena, but it may becomes abnormal. It may becomes abnormal in certain situation. In certain situation. The study of abnormal forms can be useful. The study of abnormal forms can be useful for identifying the conditions supportive of normal states. The conditions supportive of normal states. Durkheim identifies three types of abnormal forms. Three types of abnormal forms, or three types of abnormalities. Three types of abnormal forms. When you pathological forms in bracket le dikho, abnormal or pathology. 1, anomy division of labor. 2, inadequate organization. 3, forced division of labor. So see guys, ingane ezhudittu venam 1, 2, 3, 4 nu ningal ezhudanayittu normally, okay? So for example, nammal alienation padichu. Right, alienation in capitalism. So you give this heading and you will say there are 4 different types of alienation in capitalism. Then you will write 1, alienation from product. 2, alienation from process. 3, alienation from fellow workers. 4, alienation from self or self alienation. Then you will start with the first one. Okay, just list down the 4 and then write one by one. Similarly here also, anomy division of labor, inadequate organization, forced division of labor, then write one by one. Give a heading, anomy division of labor. What is anomy? Anomy is a state of normlessness. Write that first. Anomy is a state of normlessness. That means you don't follow any norms and values or anything, you don't care. Anomy is a state of normlessness. That is an abnormal form in which widespread disobeying of norms happens. Widespread disobeying of norms happens. Under anomy state, division of labor becomes dysfunctional. Under anomy state, division of labor becomes dysfunctional as it lead to unhealthy competition. Unhealthy competition. 2, inadequate organization. മറ്റേ മുകളിൽ അൺഹെൽത്തി കോമ്പറ്റീഷൻ എന്നുള്ളത് അണ്ടർലൈൻ ചെയ്യും. Inadequate organization, or that name itself will tell you. If the work is not properly organized, that creates confusion, chaos. Okay, right. If the work is not properly organized, it may lead to conflict and tension at the workplace. It may lead to conflict and tension at the workplace. Three, forced division of labor. Forced division of labor എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഇഷ്ടമില്ലാത്ത കാര്യങ്ങൾ നിങ്ങളെ കൊണ്ട് ചെയ്യിച്ചാൽ, when you are forced to do that, it is neither good for you nor good for society or others. Okay, right. For division of labor to produce solidarity, it is not sufficient each individual has its specialized task. It is not sufficient that each individual has its specialized task. It is still necessary that this task be appropriate for him. See, for example, this class, Sociology, I'm not in a position to take class today. So imagine if I'm asking Arya to come and take this class. Her optional is per bag. So what she will do tomorrow if she need to take Durkheim's theory of suicide? Right? So it has to be appropriate to that person. It cannot be forced. Right. The forced division of labor is thus the consequence of that structural condition. In which the distribution of social function does not correspond to distribution of talents. The distribution of social function does not correspond to distribution of talent. See, your talent is in music. You want to be a musician, but your father is asking you to become a doctor, and you became a doctor. So the social function you are providing is what? As a doctor, but it is not matching with your talent. It is neither good for you nor good for society. That's what. It has to be matching with the social function that you are doing, should be matching with the talent that you have. It produces stress and tension. For example, Indian caste system. Okay, caste is actually defined, right? Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Brahmins do this pure functions, puja angante karyangal, right? The prayers and all those. Kshatriyas, wars and all those. Vaishyas, they are the traders or the business people. Shudras, they are the service providers. That is actually not based on the talent. It is social function which is assigned. So that creates stress and tension. Just an example. Next paragraph. The study of abnormal forms culminate into Durkheim's conception of socialism. Durkheim's conception of socialism. So underline cheyada. Okay, now listen, after that you can write. See here, we discussed about socialism in Marx also. Right, there are problems. To solve that problem, there will be a mature condition, workers revolt, enter into socialism. So the entire mode of production need to be changed, which is a qualitative change. Right, that is very clear with you. But what Durkheim says is, this is a temporary problem. There is no need of qualitative change. There is no need of change of mode of production. Within the existing setup itself, you bring some ethical code of conduct, new rules, and this can be solved. But what Marx says, this mode of production itself need to be changed. The problem is with the structure. Entire mode of production need to be changed. Qualitative change is required. But for Durkheim, within the existing framework itself, you come up with new laws, ethical code, ethical conduct, then it can be solved. So the problems are temporary for Durkheim. Problems are permanent for Marx. Need a qualitative change, but Durkheim just need a quantitative change in terms of new code of conduct, etc. So this is what the difference between their idea of socialism. Now, if they are asking theory of division of labor comparison, you will discuss alienation, autonomy, and the entire theory also you will discuss. That is one line of comparison. Second and most important comparison is this part. There will be temporary problem for Durkheim, but the problem is permanent for Marx. Durkheim needs some modification within the system, but Marx need complete overhaul of the system and a new mode of production altogether. Getting me? So their socialism means complete change of mode of production. Here his idea of socialism means within the existing framework need some modification, some changes, new code of conduct. You solve the problem. Because the problems are temporary. Right. According to him, the socialism can be based on maintenance of division of labor, maintenance of division of labor in the abnormal state, by number of occupational association, which will implement an ethical code corresponding to their occupation. എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഡോക്ടേഴ്സിന് their association, അവരുടെ ഒരു കോഡ് ഓഫ് കണ്ടക്ട് കൊണ്ടുവരും. അതനുസരിച്ച് ഫോളോ ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഈ അൺഹെൽത്തി കോമ്പറ്റീഷൻ ഉണ്ടാവില്ല, ഇൻഅഡിക്വേറ്റ് ഓർഗനൈസേഷൻ ഉണ്ടാവില്ല. യു ഫോളോ ദാറ്റ്. അങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ ഇത് ഒഴിവാക്കാം, അനോമി ഇങ്ങനത്തെ സിറ്റുവേഷൻസ് ഒഴിവാക്കാം. ഓക്കെ, this will prevent anomy state, help in organizing the work, and prevent forced division of labor. Done. Any questions? Anything you want to know from this theory, we'll discuss. We'll stay for 10-15 minutes. പുതിയ ടോപ്പിക് നാളെ എടുക്കാം. ഈസി തിയറിയാണ്, ബട്ട് among the thinkers Durkheim was very easy. കാരണം ഇതെല്ലാം ഫങ്ഷണലാണ്. ഇനി അടുത്ത റിലീജിയൻ, നമ്മൾ when we are studying religion, what is going to be the function of religion? That is also integration. Because his concern is what? How to maintain social order. That's what he is studying. So function of religion is already done. It is integrating people, just like this. Cause will be different, that we'll discuss. So what will be the criticism? One criticism. He is only finding that function, ignoring the dysfunctional aspect, dysfunctions of division of labor. Or religion is always integrating people. No, multiple religions create conflict that he is ignoring. So it is very easy now, naturally come, right? Criticisms also. Anything you want to know, anything you want to discuss from so far, because we have enough time today. പുതിയ ടോപ്പിക് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള ടൈമില്ല. Anomy division of labor. Anomy division of labor എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഒന്നുമില്ല. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് യു ആർ നോട്ട് ഫോളോയിങ് ദ നോംസ് ആൻഡ് വാല്യൂസ്. സോ നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ സപ്പോസ് ഡോക്ടേഴ്സ് ആണെന്ന് വിചാരിച്ചോ. Now doctors, like, what is a new trend? Doctors are coming on social media and promising many things. You come to the hospital, you get this, you get that. So simply you will promote, right? Even otherwise also just give fake advertisements, fake promises. It is because you are not following any norms and values. So that create unhealthy competition. Others are also forced to do that. So that will create specialization, unhealthy specialization. That is anomy. Normlessness. You don't follow the norms, you do whatever you want for your survival. ഈ പുതിയത് കണ്ടിട്ടില്ലേ, വെയിറ്റ് ലോസ് ഡ്രഗ്സ് പ്രൊമോട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഇത് കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടോ, സൗഭാഗ്യനൊക്കെ? ചുമ്മാ പ്രൊമോഷനാണ്, ബട്ട് സീ ദ ഇമ്പാക്ട് ഓഫ് വാട്ട് ഇസ് ഗോയിങ് ടു ഹാപ്പൻ. തിങ്കേഴ്സ് നിങ്ങൾ അങ്ങോട്ടും ഇങ്ങോട്ടും മനസ്സിലാവാത്തവർ പറഞ്ഞു കൊടുത്തത് ക്ലിയർ ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ സോഷ്യോളജി ആക്ച്വലി സിമ്പിളാണ്. ആഫ്റ്റർ ദ ക്ലാസ് ഓൾസോ യു ക്യാൻ വാച്ച് അഗെയിൻ. മലയാളം ഉണ്ട്, നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മലയാളം കാണാം. വേറെ ആൾ എടുത്തേക്കുന്നുണ്ട് ഫുള്ളി മലയാളത്തിൽ. എൻ്റെ പ്രീവിയസ് ലെക്ചേഴ്സ് ഉണ്ട്, കുറച്ചും കൂടി സ്പീഡായിട്ട് കാണണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് കാണാം. ഇതിലും സ്പീഡ് ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടായിരിക്കല്ലേ? Hello, but when it is, when you are revising, that will be better. It will go fast. And if you can help each other, thinkers in the part, baaki ellam simple. Okay, see you.